Namaskar students, good to see you all here in this class. Okay, today we are going to read Unit 11, describing an object or a place, talking about present. Under this topic, today we are reading grammar. Okay, on grammar we are reading relative clauses. Grammar, especially, why do we read? Just like you know that for 11 marks only there will be asked the question in examination. But we should not focus on our examination only. We have to use the language correctly. So to use the language correctly, we should learn grammar. Okay? So you know that 11 marks grammar will be there, but this one will come in 1 marks. Okay? For 1 marks we will learn this relative clause. Before in this relative clause, today we are discussing what is relative clause, okay? And we will read the examples as well, and we will also talk about types of relative clauses, okay? And use of relative clause. So these 3 things we will focus on today's class. So before starting grammar, before starting this relative clause, let's discuss about what we had learned in our last class. In our previous class, we had discussed about memoir writing. There, we had learned that the writer has visited an orchard, an orange orchard in Sangja, and she has shared her experience. She had shared her experience based on what she has seen there, what she has tasted there, okay, and smell there, okay, hear there, like this kind of things we had, and also touch. So based on these 5 different things, she had shared her experience there. So when she has talked about oranges, how it looked like how it tasted like, how it smelled like, what she could hear there, and how she felt while touching it, these things she has described through memoir writing. Okay, I talked in last class as well. Memoir is personal experience sharing. Okay, so we use first person pronoun to share our experience. So memoir and autobiography, we get confused in these 2. Memoir, we write about certain or specific place or event, about a special moment of our life, we write memoir. But autobiography, we write about whole span of our life. Okay, so here I would like to show you one picture. All of you look at that. In this picture, you can see here, this is the market of vegetables and then fruits. You can see varieties of vegetables here as well as fruits. So just imagine that you are in front of these vegetables and fruits. Okay? Now, choose any one fruit or vegetable from here. Just for example, banana. Okay, you can see banana there. So you have chosen this one. So when you see that, maybe some of your favorite fruit is banana as well, right? So how it looks like, just you can see here, it is large in size comparing to other bananas, right? And then it looks yellow, right? So how it tastes? It tastes sweet. Okay, I don't think that anyone have found sour type of banana. It is so sweet. And smell is also you can use the adjectives which I had talked in last class. Fragrant you can use, pleasant type of, sour type of, what kind of, you can choose and then write. And touch, when you touch banana, it is hard or soft. What do you think? Guess it. It is ripe one, so it may be very soft. So in this way, say using the adjectives based on these all the sensory domains, we can write memoir, or we can write descriptive writing. Okay, so here I'd like to show you another one memoir, my first day at the school. I have written a little bit here just for the starting. You can see there, I started my school journey at the age of 4. I was late for my first day of school. Mom had started me early enough to get ready. But there were many interesting things I could see on the way which attracted my attention, so I moved slowly. I had to stop at the beautiful stone bridge near my home and for some time look at the stream running beneath my feet. The trees were beginning to change color and cast beautiful reflection in the flowering water. So in this way we continue. We use different senses, what we could hear there, what we could see there, this everything we will include, and using the sensory domains we can write memoir. Okay, this everything we had discussed in our last class. Today we are going to talk about relative clauses. Okay, so before starting this, I would like to tell you to look at your book, page number 125 and 26. Okay, there we read the memoir of the writer. So here you go through it and then look at the relative clauses. I would like to give you one example of relative clause from the text. Okay, this one, have a look. An attractive orange that was the size of a cricket ball seized my eyes. This is one example of relative clause. Okay, so you take 2 minutes time, I think it will be enough for you. Within these 2 minutes, you just go through the lines, okay, from the text, and then underline the sentences with relative clauses. Okay, I hope you have underlined the sentences. Just have a look here. Another sentence is, my brother enjoyed many oranges sitting in a corner which was just beside the orange tree. Next one is, my mother, whose childhood had passed in that particular area, was rather excited. Here, we reach the place where we saw orange trees loaded with ripe and tempting oranges. So these are some of the sentences which I have picked from the textbook. You can find other sentences as well using relative clauses. All right. So what is relative clause then? Okay. Before starting, just you can see here, in this sentence, an old man is carrying a sack of money. Okay, this is the sentence. You can see there are different words used. An old man is carrying a sack of money. So how many words are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, these words are used for making sentence, right? So this is the smallest meaningful elements of a sentence. Okay, words are the smallest meaningful elements of a sentence. So sentences are made of different phrases, different clauses. Okay, so after knowing words and then phrases and clauses, you will find out that what is relative clauses are. So in this sentence, an old man is carrying a sack of money. Okay, in this sentence you can find different parts of speeches has used. You see here, each word has their own class. Okay, own class means parts of speech. Do you know what are the parts of speech? Okay, there are altogether 8 parts of speech. Okay, they are, first one is bhav. Okay, you can tell in order, or if you do not tell also no matter. Okay, just for they are bhav, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, interjection. Okay, connective. Yeah, conjunction I have already told. So these are the parts of speech. So this N is which parts of speech then? Okay, this is article. Okay, and old is, last time we had read, adjective this is, and man is noun. Its carrying is a verb. A is article here, sack is noun, of is, what is of? What do you think? Of is preposition, and money is again noun. So using different parts of speech, we can make a sentence, and these different parts of speech belongs to different words. Okay, words are there in a sentence. Sentence is a group of words, right? So in a sentence there may be different words, right? So varieties of parts of speech we can find in a sentence. So have a look here. Next one, here is the same. N is article, old is adjective, main is a noun, it's carrying verb. A is again article, sack is noun, of is preposition, money is noun. Okay, so we put together, we put words together to make phrases, clauses, and sentences. So now let's discuss about what is phrases then. Okay, phrases are the group of words without subject or a verb. A phrase is a group of related words that does not include a subject and a verb. You can see different examples here. Several people, the story, the long and difficult road, beautiful lady. So these are the winter vacation. These are the phrases. Okay, so here do we find any subject or verb? No, there are no any subject and verb. These are just the group of words. So phrases are the group of words. Okay, they are related to each other. Okay, so next one is, you can see there, clauses. As we are reading relative clauses, so I would like to make you know that what are clauses. So clauses are also group of words. Okay, you see there, clauses are also a group of words related, they should be related with each other, and there we can find subject and a verb. As we had discussed about phrases, phrases do not have subject and verb, but clauses, they have subject and verb. So have a look here, the example, there are 2 different types of clauses. They are independent clause, okay, and then other one is dependent clause. Independent clause could be its own sentence. Okay, independent clause, we do not need other extra information sometimes. Just have a look here. She is older than her brother. In this is the complete sentence we can see. If we add something extra also no problem, but this is independent clause. Okay, so dependent clauses which can't stand by themselves. Just you can see the example, because he injured his arm. Is this complete? No, this is incomplete. So this is dependent clause. So in this way, 2 different kinds of clauses are here, independent clause and then dependent clause. So you should not forget that clauses are the related group of related words with subject and verb. You can see here, she is a subject, is a verb. Here also he is subject, injured is verb. So subject and verb should be there, including other related group of word, right, in clauses, but in phrases there will be only the group of related words without subject and verb. So let's talk about sentence is a group of word consisting 2 or more clauses. As we know that dependent clause, if there is, then there will be 2 clauses, right? If there is independent clause, then there will be only 1 clause. Just you have a look here. some examples. Corruption affects you even if you don't get close to it. Okay, corruption affects you. This one is one clause. Even if you don't get close to it, this is another clause. Despite his hard work, this is one clause. He failed exam. This is another. Ravi was an innocent boy. In this sentence, this is Ravi was an innocent boy. This is independent clause. Okay, it can be one sentence as well. Who always secured good result. This is another clause. Okay, in this way, there are two different clauses in a sentence. Sentence can be different types of simple sentence. If there is simple sentence, then there may be only one clause, right? Or only group of words will be there. This is not longer. If this is compound sentence, then in compound sentence there we can find or, but, and this conjunctions. And if it is complex sentence like this way, two clauses, we can see different kinds of connectives like even if, despite, who. Okay, like this kind of connectives we can see there in complex sentences. So now, what are relative clauses then? Before telling the meaning or saying that what are relative clauses, let's see the example. Yesterday I met a man who works in the circus. In this sentence, you can see who works in the circus is relative clause. Who works in the circus. So like this way, all highlighted part of the sentences are relative clauses. I bought a cell phone that has internet access. This that has internet access is relative clause. He came from his hometown where I visited 2 years ago. This one is also relative clause. The book which is on the table is very useful to me. This which is on the table is relative clause. So this is the year when they should start working. So this when they should start working is also relative clause. So in this way we can find relative clauses. Okay, now what idea you have got from this? Let's discuss what is relative clause then. Okay, relative clauses are the clauses which starts with relative pronoun. So what are the relative pronouns then? Let's discuss. Relative pronoun. So relative pronouns we can find in relative clauses. Relative pronouns are who, whom, where, that, when, okay, who, whom, where, that, when, which, etc. So these are the relative clauses. If the clause starts with who, whom, where, that, when, which, then these clauses are called relative clauses. So have a look here. Relative clauses are clauses starting with relative pronouns. As I have told you that who, that, which, whose, etc. are relative pronoun. Okay, and why do we use this relative pronoun in the sentence with relative clauses? Then to define or identify the nouns that precede them. Okay, to know about the noun in detail, we use this kind of relative pronoun and relative clauses. Just have a look here. Other definitions. Relative clauses is a phrase that adds information to a sentence. Using these relative clauses, we can get extra information. We can write extra information about the subject or about the noun. So relative clauses are a way of giving more information. I told you that using this pronoun with clauses, we give more information. Okay, sometimes we give essential information. Okay, we add some essential information. Sometimes we give extra information as well. Why do we do so? so that we should not repeat the same information. Just look at that. Relative clauses are a way of giving more information about a person, thing, place, and event. We often use them to avoid repeating information. Okay, if we write the same noun or same subject repeatingly, so it looks awkward type of, okay. So not to repeat the same information time and again, we use relative clauses. So there are two different types of relative clauses, okay. They are defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. You see here, defining relative clauses add essential information to the sentence. Okay, essential information, you should not forget this word. Essential information in which clauses? In defining clauses. Just for example, dogs that like cats are very unusual. Okay, we can find, we can hear, no, dogs and cats always they fight with each other. But here, dogs that like cats are very unusual. So these dogs, there are so many dogs, but these specific dogs, okay, they like cats. Okay, so this is the essential information. In this sentence, we know that there are many dogs in the world, but we are only talking about the ones that like cats. Okay, so this is that like cats, this is the essential information. If we don't write this, then dogs are very unusual. This is the not it does not give correct sense. Okay, so this is the essential part of this dogs. To define these dogs, we have to use that like cats, because we are talking about some specific dogs, not overall in general. Now, defining and non-defining relative clauses. Non-defining relative clauses, I told you. Yeah, defining relative clauses, I told you that there is essential information will be given, but in non-defining relative clauses, there will be given extra information to the sentence. Extra information to the sentence is not always needed. If we do not write extra information, then also the sentence will be complete. Just have a look. My brother who lives in Chitwan is an engineer. Okay, in this sentence you can see the use of comma in both in front as well as at the back of this relative clause. If we remove who lives in Chitwan, the sentence still has the same meaning, right? My brother is an engineer. Okay, this is the complete sentence. This is just the extra information given here. So this is non-defining relative clause. So remember that defining relative clause, there will be adding the information, but they are essential information. But here in non-defining relative clauses, there will be added the information, but they are just extra information. Okay, so here defining and non-defining relative clauses we are comparing here. The professor who teaches English is an excellent lecturer. Okay, second sentence, look at Professor Subedi who teaches English is an excellent teacher. So in first sentence there is no comma. Okay, who teaches English, this is the relative clause, but there is no comma. So it means that this is essential one, this is defining relative clause. But here, Professor Subedi who teaches English. So inside inverted comma, inside comma, there is some extra information. So this is not necessary, but also it is given for some extra information, is an excellent teacher. So no commas are used because the relative clauses is important, necessary to identify which professor is meant, right, in first one. But second one, there is comma because the relative clauses is not important and necessary to identify who Professor Subedi is. Okay, I think you understood this defining and non-defining relative clauses. Both of the relative clauses have used in our textbook as well, right? So now, where can we use these relative clauses? Just like you see here on the board, who and whom. Who and whom we can use for person. Okay, when the subject is noun, okay, when the noun is a person or people, then we use who or whom. And where we use for place, okay, and that is used for thing. When is used for time, and which is also used for thing or situation. Okay, like this way we can use who and whom for person. If the noun is a person or the people, then we use who or whom. Then after, if just like another one is whose is also relative pronoun. This is used for possession. Okay, so where is used for place, that and which, these both are used for thing or situation, and when is used for time, and whose is used for possession. Okay, now let's do one exercise. After doing that exercise as well, you will get more idea. Look, supply the correct relative pronoun. So any one relative pronoun you can supply here. The main wallet was stolen, call the police. So the main is here, person or place or thing or time or possession. What is the main? The main is, of course, a person. So we can use who. Okay, in this way, who and then whose also we can use for person. Okay, so you just go through it, take 2 minutes time to see it, copy there in your exercise book, and then try to do it. Okay, the answers are here. So the main, whose wallet was stolen, call the police. Okay, whose wallet. Okay, this relative pronoun is following the wallet. Okay, the thing. Did I tell you about the woman who I met last night? So here also the woman is described by who. So in this way you can check your answer. Okay, now let's have a look there in your textbook. We are doing the exercise from our textbook now. All of you look at there in your book, page number 128. So 128, exercise A. Okay, this is the question. Rewrite the following sentences choosing the correct relative pronouns from the brackets. You can see there are given options. Okay, who, whose, whom. I told you these all, these two, most of the time we can find use person with person, and whose possession as well as for person we can use this whose. Okay, so in this way, who, whom, and whose. It looks similar type of, and all used for person. So here are given to make you a little bit slightly confused as well. The answer you can find. Just people is here, people or person if there is, then we can use these three. But you should look at the complete sentence and choose the best one. Okay, so have a look here. People live in glass houses, shouldn't throw stones at others. Okay, when we throw stones other, then of course other also will throw stones at us. So it's better not to throw those who lives in glass house. So what will be the correct sentence here? People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones at others. So that is the building. They shoot the film hostel. So whose, where, and which? Which one is the correct answer? That is the building. Okay, that is the building. This is the place. So if there is place, then we use where. So that is the place where they shoot the film hostel. So that will be the correct answer. I hope you can do other exercises as well. Please do, and then we will take it later on. Now, the next one exercise. look at there in your book, page number 129. Study the following examples and join the pairs of sentences into one using suitable relative pronoun. So suitable relative pronoun. If you are talking about person, then who, whom, which. If you are talking about place, then where. If you are talking about thing, then that or which. And if you are talking about time, then we have to use when. So I told you, we had discussed that not to repeat the same information twice, we use relative pronoun. So here you can see in the example, you were helping the teacher, I wanted to help her. So this is an example given here. You see, you were helping the teacher whom I wanted to help. So instead of which word we have used this whom relative clause. You were helping the teacher, I wanted to help her. Which information is repeated here? You were helping the teacher and I wanted to help her. This her and then the teacher, that is the same information. So we should choose the noun one instead of pronoun. Okay, so you were helping the teacher whom I wanted to help. So in this way, I used to live in Banepa. I was born and went to school there. So which information is repeated? This Banepa and there. So in place of these two, I told you that we use nouns first. So instead of the pronoun, we can use relative pronoun. I used to live in Banepa, where I was born and went to school. Okay, or I used to live in Banepa. Yes, the same thing. You will write in between these two clauses. Okay, so in this way, he bought the latest model of iPod. Asif wanted it. This iPod and then it. These are repeated. So he bought the latest model of iPod, which Asif wanted. So this one is we use which because the sentence is talking about the thing. Okay, so in this way you can do other exercises as well. Now we are coming to the last of this class. You know that what is relative clause. Relative clause starts with relative pronoun. Okay, types of relative clauses. There are two different types of relative clauses, that is defining and then non-defining. And use of relative clause, we use relative clauses not to repeat the same information twice in a sentence. So in this way, we had discussed about relative clauses here. I hope you have understood what is it. Now you will go through the text again and copy the sentences with this kind of relative pronoun there in your text, and also add some more, at least 3 sentences from your own side as well using relative pronoun. Okay, and then after that, you will check your answers with your friends. Okay, one person will show the answers to other, and other will show their answers to others, and then they will check in class. So in this way, we had learned what is relative clause, types of relative clause, and use of relative clause in today's class. Okay, now I would like to complete my class today. Thank you.